Hello guys, this is Self-Talk Body Soul channel. I am Maria and today I'm coming to you with a very interesting and I think very necessary education around things like intrusive thoughts, overwhelming thoughts, internal dialogue that you seem to have and not able to shut off or able to control or understand. And what has prompted this video was me watching another YouTube video where I'll link it down below, but it's a video of this guy. It was just a 10-minute video and it's not long, but it was just a guy interviewing this girl who apparently doesn't have an internal dialogue. And for most people, that's a very shocking kind of information to learn, that some people don't have internal dialogue. And most people, or a lot of those people, don't have a clue as to how to manage that. And the reason why I was so prompted and motivated to make this video right now after watching that was because the things that the guy was saying in the video was, you know, do you not have, when you get in the shower, you know, he was asking her questions about how she processes information. If she doesn't have the internal dialogue, he would say, you know, when you get into the shower in the evening or in the morning, do you not have thoughts replaying in your mind from 4 years ago or 7 years ago of that argument you had with some random person, and you're replaying that scenario and thinking about the different ways in which you would respond now? And she was like, nope, I don't do that. And then people in the comment sections were like sharing similar stories of, you know, oh, I've literally had an argument in my own head yesterday, or, you know, oh, I keep having these like memories of this embarrassing moment come up in my head from 2007, you know, and it seemed like a much more universal experience than the one that the girl was experiencing of not having an internal dialogue. And today I'm coming to you with a perspective that I have learned and understood and embodied through embodiment. I'm coming to you with a mindset shift around thoughts and why they're there in your head, what is their role, and how to start being in control of them. What I'm talking about is thoughts that come to your mind without your cognitive input, right? There's a difference between me sitting down to do work and actively thinking about the work that I'm going to do, right? So let's say I used to do maths. I did a maths degree, and so when I'd sit down to do maths, I would think about maths. I would actively put thoughts of maths in my head, trying to figure out the problem at hand, right? That's a different kind of thought to a thought that comes to your head without your permission, right? Without your active partaking in that thought being there. So these are the thoughts we're going to talk about today. Thoughts are in your head because your being, whether you want to call it your mind, your body, like there's a part of your being that is trying to process information, that is trying to process life experiences, that is trying to process your emotions. And the way that the brain is doing it is through thoughts. And again, I just want to revert back a little bit and say that the only time and the reason I've actually understood that and was able to finally become friends with my own thoughts and my own brain is through doing embodiment work, whereby I was actually actively partaking in helping my being, my body, my brain process events from the past. This is exactly why intrusive thoughts, or that internal dialogue, is a very common symptom of things like anxiety and depression and borderline personality disorder and schizophrenia and every mental health, pretty much every mental health problem you might have that is available out there, that is known out there, has some correlation with the way we're thinking, right? There's a problem in the way we're thinking or in the kind of thoughts that come up. And what is really important to understand is that your brain is not your enemy, okay? That voice, however negative or destructive it might seem to our brains or our minds, our perception, it is there to process things, okay? And it is doing it in that destructive, negative way because that's the only way it knows how to do it. It is a form of adaptation of the nervous system that is taking place. And so when you're thinking about, when you're in that shower and you have all of these intrusive or constant thoughts of that event from 2007, where you're arguing and you're replaying that argument in your mind, when it comes to arguments, I can almost guarantee that what your brain is trying to do is process anger that was associated with that argument. Or if you're having a repetitive memory come up of an event from school where you felt deeply embarrassed or ashamed, your mind is trying to process shame. Your body is trying to process shame associated with that memory. Without doing the embodiment work, without starting to come down from the head to your body, it will be very difficult to put two and two together, right? Because when we live in our heads and all we know is our thoughts, it is quite difficult to put space between where am I and my experiences and where are the thoughts. It's all kind of just like muddled up and it's just a big one big knot that you seemingly don't know how to unravel and disidentify from, and again put space between. So I don't know if there is anything else I need to share in terms of kind of explanation and education and within that, you know, how that makes sense. So maybe the best thing to do from here is, if you have questions around why that is or whatever, you can drop them down in the comments below. Because, you know, it's quite hard sometimes when you're in one place in life and then you step into another place of a deeper understanding of a deeper experience. It is quite difficult to remember how it felt when you were here, and how I can help other people now to perceive what this place feels like. So it will be helpful for me to share more with you about this if you ask me questions. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a practical way to start to, you can say, deal with these thoughts. Okay. A huge piece of dealing with these thoughts is self-compassion. Now, self-compassion is a big word and it's wildly and widely misused and overused rather than misused. And I just want you to be aware that self-compassion is an experience, okay? It is not something you can just read in a book and understand, or hear from another person and just become. It is an experience that you can practice. It is almost a skill that later on becomes a habit and a natural state of being. But what I'm going to ask you to do, if you want to start working with these thoughts and becoming more embodied and becoming your own best friend, rather than feeling like there's parts of you that are your enemy. You know, my body is against me, my mind is against me, clearly, right? Because like all these horrible thoughts are in my head. It's like a little person trying to destroy me from the inside. That's how it feels sometimes. Let me just brighten it up a bit. Okay. What you can start doing And please, please, please take this very slowly, very gently, especially if you're struggling with some really destructive thoughts. This is going to take some time. That's okay. And please take that time, because if you're going to start trying to do things fast and too much, you're just going to make it worse, okay? So just do it little by little. What I'm going to ask you to do is, the next time you're in that shower, let's say, and you're having these conversations in your mind, or at any other point when you're starting to have overwhelming thoughts or that monologue is starting to come up, without trying to just stop it or shift your attention to something else, or whatever it is that your coping mechanism is, I will invite you to just drop your attention. As these thoughts are running their show, drop part of your attention into your body and ask yourself, okay, as these thoughts are playing out right now, what am I feeling? Okay, so I'm going to do this practice with you right now. So I still have some anxiety about being in front of the camera, sharing my thoughts, my knowledge, my experience. I definitely have some fear about that still. And so as I'm talking to you right now, what I'm viscerally feeling, so as you can see, I'm still talking, and at the same time I'm able to split my attention slightly and feel that there is a tightening in my belly. Like I can feel like my belly is not allowing a full breath in and out. And as I breathed in just then, that was all into my chest. It was like, my chest expanded and my belly just stayed contracted. So you can just notice, okay, what's happening in my body as I'm having this angry conversation in my head, this argument that I'm replaying, or I'm replaying that embarrassing moment from 10 odd years ago, 20 odd years ago, that terrifying moment, whatever it might be. What can I notice? Oh, maybe there is some pain. Maybe my inner thighs are clenched. Maybe my breath is very shallow or fast. Maybe my heartbeat has gone faster. Maybe I'm holding fists tightly clenched. Maybe my jaw has gone a bit tight. Maybe I'm slouched. What's my posture like? Maybe I'm slouched. Maybe I'm attaining a power posture. Maybe I'm starting to get a headache. Notice what is happening in your body right now. And trust me, when you're experiencing very heavy thoughts, it's going to be very difficult. So please, that's the self-compassion part. Please take your time, okay? There's nothing wrong with distracting yourself when something is too overwhelming, okay? But I want you to just try and start building that capacity and that resilience to experiencing sensations in your body. Because as you're doing that, your body will start to feel safe and trust that it is safe to start processing those events and those feelings and those sensations. Because all the while that we're up in our heads replaying those thoughts and not allowing our attention to drop into the body, those thoughts will continue to be there. As a somatic practitioner, both the one who practices on myself and the one who facilitates for other people, what I have experienced is a huge decrease in symptoms of all kinds, including the overwhelming thoughts. Go a bit darker again. And the thing that I definitely know now is that my body and my brain are on my side and they are my best friends. You know why? Because the moment I go astray from myself, from allowing myself to feel and experience emotions, the thoughts come back. Okay? So this is something I want you to understand. Doing any kind of practices where you're trying to manage your emotions, your thoughts, the aim is never to stop your experience entirely, okay? If you learn how to manage your anxiety, your depression, the result isn't it will all go away forever. It will go away as long as you're living in alignment with yourself. You're continuously allowing your thoughts to be, your emotions to be, your experiences to be. And the second you stop doing that, symptoms are going to arise, because your body is going to try to let you know that there is a misalignment and you're doing something off from yourself, okay? Not from anyone, for anyone else, for anyone else's benefit, for your own benefit, okay? So if you're doing something out of guilt, your body's going to let you know, because that's not in alignment. If you're doing something to please others, if you're doing something to keep peace, instead of living your true, authentic expression, meaning if I feel angry at you right now, and I'm going to just close my mouth and clench my teeth and pretend like it didn't hurt me, there's going to be a symptom that's going to come up in the body. And one of them is later down the line, in the shower, I'm going to have this exact conversation playing out in my head, where I'm going to continuously clench my teeth and pretend or play out scenario where I've reacted in a different way to what I actually did. And to stop that, you need to befriend your body and yourself. And to do that, you need to start feeling into your body. Again, it is not an easy thing to do. It is simple, but it's not easy. And sometimes we need support with that. And I needed a lot of support with that before I learned how to really hold space for myself. And even still, sometimes I need that help with another person. If something is really quite deep and survival, it's like deep in my survival physiology from like a really long time ago. I still need help as a practitioner myself, as a facilitator. I also need to be facilitated sometimes. But when you are someone who has never done this before, please know that there is nothing wrong with you if this is really difficult for you. But this is just kind of a little stepping stone for you to start trying to explore and be curious about, what is happening in my body? What sensations are there? A big thing that might happen for a lot of people is as they start to drop into their body, they might say, I don't really feel anything at all. I feel either numb or like a bit frozen, or just like there's nothing there, nothing happening. Bring compassion to that. Don't try and force yourself to feel something that's not there, because you're just going to be going against your body again. Just be present, and you can even bring this idea forward to yourself as saying, whatever wants to come forth, you're welcome to come forth. And then you can just close your eyes and be with your body. And pay attention to even the slightest sensations that you're having, right? We're not looking for something like extreme. Why is the video so weird? 1 second. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this is I hope this is recording all right. Be with whatever there is, however subtle it is, however big it is. If it's too big, if it feels too overwhelming, like I can't hold this, just step away and do something that will bring you a feeling of safety and groundedness and calm, whatever that might be. Watching a movie, going to speak to a friend, going outside to be in nature. But then the next time, just try again. Just try again and again and again. And if you're really struggling with that, just know that the help is available, in the form of me, in the form of other somatic practitioners. If you want to check out my website, it's going to be linked down below. But if you're someone who really struggles with thoughts and this internal monologue, and it's disturbing your life, and you just don't know what to do about it, it is exhausting, there is nothing better that I can recommend as someone who has had the anxiety and that dialogue all my life, and now I recognize that it only comes when I stray away from myself. Other times it's blissful. It's blissful to be in my body, it's blissful to be in my own head, but the body will let you know when you're not on the right path, and it will do that through your thoughts and disturbing experiences and unpleasant sensations. So just listen to them and start walking towards yourself again. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope this was helpful to you. Please do write any questions down below in the comments. That way I can serve you better. I can, from my experience, bring these nuggets of help and a little bit of wisdom and whatever else it might be that has helped me on my journey, for me to be where I am now today. And I hope to share that with you too. And I'll see you next time.